Hey gamers, welcome back to the channel. Today in DC Dark Legion, I want to take a look at the state of the game. What is currently available to us in the game right now, but also I want to take a deeper look. I want to look at downloads. I want to look at revenue. How much money is this game actually making? Is it doomed to failure or is it on the fast track to success? I pulled a lot of information here and I can't wait to share it with you. But also, where's Nightwing? Let's get into it. All right, and welcome back. Let's just jump right in. First, let's talk about our roster and our characters. We have 50 characters in the roster currently. There's 2 characters that haven't been released yet. Number 1 is Nightwing. He's been a bit delayed, but we're being told he should be released tonight as of the recording of this video. If that happens, I'm going to have a stream pulling for him tomorrow and testing him. I'm going to have a Are They Worth It video coming out, just giving you my thoughts and opinions. Is he going to be like Deathstroke, where you have to heavily invest in him in order for him to be any good? Or is he going to be good right out of the box? So we'll talk about that. Very excited for this guy. He's an assassin. He's part of the Bat family. Bat family, in my opinion, sorely needs some sort of healer. They're all tanks and damage dealers and stuff like that. So I'm curious to see what the future of the Bat family holds. However, I am excited to try him in a good Titans team with Raven as the healer. So we got a lot of testing to do. I'm excited for that. We also have Martian Manhunter. He should be coming out in about a month or so. As long as they don't run into any delays or any issues getting him out. I was actually hoping that he would be a Justice League healer. We do not have a good non-paywalled Justice League healer. The only Justice League healer we have is Green Lantern, and the only way you can get him is to pay. Or you can get him free in the global launch pack, but again, to rank him up and make him any good, you have to pay. So we need some sort of free-to-play or free-to-earn character that's going to be a healer for Justice League. I was hoping that was going to be Martian Manhunter. It doesn't look like it. He does look like he's got a pretty interesting kit, so we'll see what kind of damage he can pull out as a warrior. So that's 50 characters. We're 2 months past global launch right now. They've been touting 200 plus characters, so very excited to see what other characters we get in the coming months. When we take a look at maybe some other similar games, we got Marvel Strike Force, right? Turn-based RPG game, Hero Collector comic book, Marvel. They've got like 320, 325 different characters over a 7-year lifespan of that game right now. So right now they've got 200 planned for this. So as long as everything goes well and everybody likes this game, we're gonna see quite a few years out of this game. All right, let's talk about game modes. When we talk about game modes, there's about 7, and really what I've counted as game modes is what's in here, right? So we've got these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different game modes in here. Some of them we can actively control our characters, others we cannot. So Darkest Timeline, obviously very heavily controlled by the player. Defeat Dark Legion, not. You go ahead, set your teams off, they go, they fight, they come back. Umbral Rift, same thing, more vehicle combat. You set your teams, they go, they fight, and come back. Combat Psycho, we do have control over our characters there. Training Simulator, same thing with that, and ACN, which is Anti-Crime Network, and Metabrawl, so we can control those characters there in the way that we can set up our team and hit go. We can auto or we can manually control our ultimates, except for Metabrawl. That's what we have for game modes. When we take a look at game modes, so 7 after 2 months. I keep going back to Marvel Strike Force and some other games. When we take a look at Marvel Strike Force, I think there's like 10 or 11 game modes on that one, so not far behind this right here. Again, that's over a 7-year lifespan of the game. DC Worlds Collide, which is in an early access, that's got about 12 game modes that I've counted. So that one's more on the higher end. But we've got 7 now. I'm sure we've got more coming. This game, though, is very heavily focused on events and PvP, league versus league, player versus player type stuff. So what do we have there? We've got about 7 events. Some of them, maybe not necessarily events, but they're in the event tab here. So the event calendar here, we've got Interstellar Visitor, not necessarily an event. It does come out on the weekends. It's a spending event, spending gems event, if that's what you want to go with. We've got Guardian Challenge 3v3. League Mobilization, Supreme Commander. So Supreme Commander is weekly. League Mobilization is bi-weekly. I think 3v3, that's a cross-server PvP. I believe that's once a month, I think that is, or once every few weeks. I don't have the timing on that one down quite yet. We've got Guardian Challenge every weekend. So we've got what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've got 5 events here. The League Mobilization Supreme Commander, as far as events, that's just going in, completing missions, right? If you're not too familiar with the game. So that's what those types of events are. Grab some missions, go complete them, go get some rewards. Some other events we have is Rush. So we have Krypton Rush. This is brand new. Unfortunately, it failed to launch the first time around last weekend. So we're going to go and try and again this weekend. So hopefully everything goes well. It's very similar to Guardian Challenge, except this is one league versus one league. It's one-on-one, league versus league, whereas Guardian Challenge is 4 leagues together attacking a town. So very curious to see how well that goes. We've also got Checkmate. This is also a vehicle combat one. So these events here, not much interaction, right? We're building our teams, we're putting them on vehicles, and we're sending them along and on their way. So we don't have much control there at all. Checkmate, you just set your teams, and then it just auto battles everything through. So we've got that as well. So those are the events that we have in this game. This game, very heavily focused on events, PvP, league versus league type stuff. Let's talk about base building. Not much to talk about there. We do have base building in this game as well. A lot of base building type games, city builder games. You're attacking other people's cities. You're not doing that here. That's one thing I enjoy about this one. So, what do we have coming? So, we've had 2 We've had 2 roadmaps launched so far. So let's go ahead. Let's take a look at the roadmaps and see what else is coming, because we do have quite a bit more coming, right? I don't know if they're game modes. I know that some are events. But let's take a look at what has been published so far, where we are in those 2 roadmaps, and then we're going to really get into downloads and revenue and how well is this game actually doing. So let's go ahead and head over there. All right, and here we are. So our first roadmap came out a couple months ago. This is Q1 and Q2. If we just take a look at what's been released, we have Darkest Timeline, we have the Valentine's Day event, we have the cross server and the 3v3 meta brawl. That's all happening now. We've got the friends system. The only thing that hasn't happened yet is this cross server Guardian Challenge. I'm sure that's probably a heavy lift. There's a lot of behind the scenes stuff that has to be done to make that work. It may come, it may not. One thing you have to remember about roadmaps is this is a plan. Maybe they have to ditch one piece of the plan and either severely delay it or just scrap it all together. So who knows where cross-server Guardian Challenge is going to happen. But then we also have Battle Royale. Battle Royale, I've been very curious about this one, excited about this one actually. So this is Q1, Q2. So in Q1, January, February, March, April, May, June, that's that whole time frame, right? So we've got one more month till we hit the end of Q2. So we still have some opportunity for these 2 to launch. We'll see if we do. Now we're going to shift a quarter. They also shared with us Q2 and Q3. So when we take a look at this, it looks as if they're releasing things from left to right. Not so much bouncing around. It's kind of cool. It makes it a little bit easier to follow. But as you can see, cross-server Guardian Challenge is no longer here. I think it's probably got pushed off for quite a while. We have League Train. That's already come around. Krypton Rush, unfortunately, again, it failed to launch the first time around. We do have an opportunity, and hopefully it launches fine this weekend. Gotham War is a big one. That one's going to be cool. That one's going to be multi-league versus league, I assume. So very excited to see what that looks like. New main storyline. We got that stuff coming, so we're going to see a continuation of the storyline and everything there. Cross-server tournament. Don't know what that is. Really don't know what that is. It doesn't really give any hints to anything. But then Battle Royale is still here, but it's pushed to the right. So I'm thinking if this is going to come out, it's going to be more of a Q3 or end of Q3 thing. We don't have anything new yet shared with us, but this is quite a bit of information to look forward to over the coming months. A lot of events. I don't necessarily, between these 2 ones, I don't see any as a specific game mode. I see these as events that are coming around. Some of the events, I guess you could call Guardian Challenge and things like that a game mode, but I classify them as events. So that's what we have to look forward to in the coming months. So we've got a lot here. So when we take a look at just the game, what do we have available to us? I think The cadence that they have of releasing the characters and the events and everything that's happening, I think it's good. There is a lot still to do, especially if you're a global launch character. I know those of us just started back in November and December. Maybe we're just kind of idly waiting for some stuff to come by. But as a global launch player, there's still a lot of stuff to do. There's a lot of new characters to still come through the bleed. There's a lot happening. So very cool. Very excited for the future of this game. Speaking of, what does the future of this game look like? Let's go ahead and take a look at this. This was shared with us in Discord. 4 million downloads. That is awesome. That was shared back in April. So this obviously is going to be the number of players that have downloaded the game between, I think it was like mid-April and when the game launched in March. So what does that look like? Where I go to get my information is Sensor Tower. I go there and it'll tell you downloads, it'll tell you revenue. One thing that I have been told, I've talked to other game developers about this, that Sensor Tower is more of a ballpark. I don't think game developers are going to give us their actual revenue and download numbers. However, it is fairly close from what I've seen. So when we take a look at the information from Sensor Tower for the month of March, so not even a full month. So Sensor Tower information is from the prior month. So when I pulled this information here, this is from March. So from when it launched in March to the end of March, it pulled in 4 million downloads, which is awesome. So that kind of coincides with this, right? So it's fairly ballparkish accurate, right? As far as revenue goes, in that short period of time, Sensor Tower is reporting a $6 million revenue. Not even a full month in March, $6 million. That's exciting, but also at the same time, one thing to keep in mind is you see this a lot when a game first launches. Everybody wants to try the game out, so you're going to see a surge right off the bat in downloads. So that's where that 4 million downloads come from. You're also going to see a surge of people spending money. That's just naturally what happens. And then what happens is after like month 2 or 3, things really start to settle down. And then you start seeing where the game is going to sit. So 4 million downloads in March, right? $6 million revenue. That is nothing to shake a stick at. That is absolutely fantastic. Congrats to the developer team. Let's talk about April now. So it is now May. So I pulled a new Sensor Tower report to see what the entire month of April brought in. And check this out right here. DC Dark Legion, we've got 900,000 downloads from Android and we've got 300,000 downloads from Apple. So we've got just over 1 million downloads. So 4 million during the initial surge, which is great. And then we've got an initial 1 million plus downloads from April. And then take a look at the revenue. $9 million in revenue. So we went from $6 million in March. Again, not a full month of March, but $6 million, and then went beyond that to $9 million in April. So I'm very curious to see where May is going to sit. Are we going to continue to see 1 million downloads? Are we going to continue to see the revenue in the millions of dollars? This is all really good indicators that the game is going to do well. So we'll continue to keep an eye on this month over month and see what it looks like. But let's compare this to some other games that have been out there for a while. So let's talk about Marvel Strike Force. Check it out. Last month, in the month of April, we've got 700,000 downloads from Marvel Strike Force and $4 million. They've come down a little bit. They used to be higher. Let's take a look at Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. 250,000 downloads, and they've pulled in $6 million, so a little bit more than Marvel Strike Force. Let's talk about a heavy hitter. Raid Shadow Legends. 400,000 downloads in the last month. That's 12, 13, $14 million? That's massive. So, over the years, this game has had so many millions of downloads, I don't even know. That's not even really what I'm comparing it to. It's really looking at the revenue, right? Because even with this game, DC Dark Legion, you're going to see those downloads come down as kind of the player base settles. You're going to see surges. You're going to see dips. It's just the normal thing. But last month, we've got $14 million here. Let's take one game here. This game here, a lot of people compare DC Dark Legion to Invincible just because of the orientation in the battle. Invincible brought in 400,000 downloads and $2 $2.6 million in revenue for the month of April. So I like comparing games like this to like games. This is an idle game. The other games that we compared to DC Dark Legion, like Raid and all that, those are turn-based RPGs. But it kind of gives us a good idea and something to compare to. Those guys, though, Marvel Strike Force, Star Wars Galaxy Heroes, Raid had been out for a very long time. Invincible has been out, I think, maybe a year. So, I don't know. I thought that was some pretty cool comparisons there. So, what do you think? I think all the indicators are saying that the game is going to be successful. Just going to keep an eye on it month over month, see if the trend continues. But I like where we are, and I like what the future of this game could possibly be with what's coming out in the roadmaps, the indicators as far as downloads and revenue. A lot of cool stuff. Is this game for you, though? There's a question for you. Is this game for you? It really is up to you on whether you like games that are heavily invested or heavily focused on events, PvP type stuff, because that's what this game is. There have been surveys in this game asking about different types of game modes, and in the recent one, they even asked, what would you think if we allowed you control over all of your characters, making it a turn-based RPG like Marvel Strike Force, Star Wars Galaxy Heroes, and things like that? I don't know. That's my thoughts. That's the information I had pulled together for you. Very excited to hear your thoughts. What do you think? What do you think about the information I shared? What do you think, and how do you feel about the game right now and where it's headed? All right, everybody, that's what I had for you. As always, I want to thank you all for taking the time to watch the video. If you liked it, make sure to hit that like button and share your thoughts and questions in the comments section below. Take care, everybody, and we'll talk to you next time.